Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Mike,
I'm Duran.
and we like to keep it short and sweet. So, Duran,
Yo.
I'm watching this show on Netflix called The Ultimatum, and
Oh
it
my God.
brought up a question. If you're given an ultimatum to marry or to leave, can you truly marry that person without the idea that it was only done because of that ultimatum?
Man, I'm about to leave. You're not about to give me no ultimatum to marry you or leave. Because you might be ready, but I'm not ready. And if I'm the man and I'm supposed to be offering this ring to you, let me get ready. Obviously, don't settle for something less where you waiting 15 years for me to make up a decision. But don't try to force me into something because somebody coerced you into thinking that, oh, in 2 years, he should be ready to marry you, or he should be. How about we focus on our relationship and us getting there and let us keep building? Maybe we're building something great, and for all you know, it's about to happen. Or maybe I have some uncertainties. Let's figure out, is it something holding him back? Is it something holding me back? Let's not just jump to, oh, it's either this or I'm leaving, or you could leave because you wasting my time. That don't exist. And I say that out of personal experience. I dated my wife for 5 years, on and off, for like the first 2. And then the last solid 3, we ended up living and talking to one another and getting to know each other on a deeper level. Now, we had known each other. People make mistakes. We aren't going to get into that. But, you know, even still, that's a part of a growing process because you got to see my thought process in a different light. Right?
Right.
But now, we on the side where you get to see me keep evolving and changing in a positive way. But you would have never got there had you not waited, or had you have forced me to make a choice to do something.
So the interesting thing about this show is it's not just the women that's given the ultimatum. Sometimes it's the men that are giving the ultimatum to the woman because she's not ready to marry. So how would you feel if you were the one giving your wife the ultimatum? Do you think she's saying yes because you're giving her an ultimatum, or because she's actually ready to get married and she doesn't want to lose you?
I think it would have been the forced part, because women are different from men. They have a little bit different requirements. They system requirements got a little bit more on the details, but definitely would have been feeling like, well, I'm gonna just do this because I'm still trying to figure it out. In worst case scenario, I could just leave.
So you mentioned one thing too. You said that, you know, nobody should get a time limit, 2 years or whatever. So do you feel like there is a time limit for like someone actually getting married? Like you should know you want to marry this person within this many years, or?
In my personal opinion, it's not just because of my situation. I think 5 years is enough time. People pass away. People get hurt. You lose jobs. You get jobs. A lot happens in 5 years. So if you dating that person, you get to see how they handle them situations alone and with you, because you have the option to leave. You don't have to stay for these things. So you get to see them and the raw ins and outs. And even if you aren't staying together, you've been to this person's house, so you know this person's clean, they dirty, how they act when you're there, if they loving, if they caring, if they mean. You should see these things. 5 years is a long time for somebody to be keeping up a facade.
That is. So I've always told people, like, in my opinion, a man knows whether he wants to marry you or not within 5 years.
Boom. Look at that.
And if he hasn't made a decision to marry you within that 5 years, you should probably leave, or y'all need to reevaluate that relationship. Because I mean, and this is also an age factor too, because I don't expect a 17-year-old to get married to his high school sweetheart in 5 years. You know, it may be a little bit longer, but maybe he proposes before that 5 years is up and they work towards a marriage. But if we 30, 40 years old and you get into a relationship and you don't know if you want to marry this person, or you see qualities in a wife within 5 years, then let them leave. Let them find what they looking for. Especially when that person wants to get married. If I'm ever given an ultimatum, like granted I'm married now, but if my wife would have given me an ultimatum, I would have left. Because I feel like it would have always come back to you only married me because I forced you to in an argument or something like that. It's a lose-lose in my opinion when you have to act off of an ultimatum. Because whether you say no, you look like the bad guy. Whether you say yes, then there's doubt that you're actually saying yes because you want to. It seems more forced, kind of like what you said. So it's interesting when it's, in my opinion, when I'm watching a show and it's the man giving the ultimatum. Because honestly, in most cultures, the man is proposing. And we've seen a shift of it here today in American culture where women are proposing. But in most cultures, the man is the one that's doing the proposing. So for him to propose and constantly be told no, or later, or I'm not ready, I'm going to be honest. If I propose and a woman says no, we're done. And that sounds really bad. But I see a vision for my life and for our future together where I'm ready to take this step and you're not at that same place. And I could see if you say yes, but let's give it time. But for you to straight out come up and say no, in my opinion, you don't see that vision for us at all.
That's crazy. I feel that same exact way. First of all, if I've been with you and I propose and I got to make an ultimatum to you, most likely I shouldn't even be with you to be giving you an ultimatum, because why am I giving you a choice or forcing you to do something? Genuinely, two people should be able to come to a concise agreement, because that's what a marriage is anyway.
Yep.
So if I got to go out my way to do that, then I can go be with somebody else. Yeah, I'll be hurt, but I'll recover. And I'll just let somebody else appreciate my time and my efforts. Plain and simple. And I watched that show too. That's why I said when you said something about it. And I've seen a few episodes or a few things, and some of them people on there be acting crazy and doing people dirty. Like if you knew you weren't interested in that girl or you wanted to be with somebody else, you gonna punish this chick because you didn't make up your mind because you was being indecisive, and you gonna treat her or make her feel less of a person when she's there and wants to like be with you, but you got this person that you came in with, and really they just did it for you, but they want to be with you.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of twisted up stuff that come from it. And that also shows how people think, the human mind. Like, oh, well, since we here, I'm going to just live out the full experience regardless if I want to marry you or not, because I'm here. You put us here. Talking about you gave me this ultimatum. I'm going to live it out.
Yeah, and I honestly think if you make it to the point where you're on these TV shows, yeah, it's not going to work out.
Because I'm going to meet a girl from the other side of the world I ain't never been to, and you going to risk that this person is like an exotic type of person or something different, you know what I'm saying, and come through, and you see her and you see you. So now we doing lovey-dovey events. You with some stranger, he end up being what you consider busted, and I done got the ultra baddie. You just know you lost already.
And also, I feel like the editing of these shows make it seem like when they're with the other person, they're having the best time ever.
Right. Some people be miserable.
Some do. But like, I just watched the ones from South Africa, and it's a different level.
Yeah.
It is like there was legit a couple who, if y'all don't know the premise of the show, you give the ultimatum, y'all go on this show, you speed date the other couples that are in there, like the other persons.
Right.
And then you pick one person to spend 3 weeks with in a mock marriage. So you're picking a complete stranger to mock marriage. And when in the South African one, when this happened, there was literally legit a couple that was like, we're married technically, so let's sleep together. And they did, knowing that they both 3 weeks later would be going back to their original partner and having 3 weeks of a mock marriage with them. And it caused a lot of drama. I don't see what you learn from these shows at all.
At all. None at all. It's horrible. And you know another show? While we talking about that?
What's that?
It's the show. We had mutually talked about us watching it. It's uh the Blind Marriage Show.
Oh yeah. Married at First Sight.
Married at First Sight. Let
Yep.
me tell you something. They be cutting up on that show.
And I will say, Married at First Sight is I'm okay with because both agreed to go into it and get married and whatever.
But lately, they've been cutting on their partners. I mean, leaving.
Although
Dude was hitting the club while chick was at home waiting. My man, some random chick got her number and called her and was like, "Hey, ain't y'all filming this show?" It was just a catastrophe. That wasn't scripted. Yeah, y'all filming this show? Yeah, he at the club. His mad cameras here, like, and he with you, right? Yeah, he totally out here. He been taking chick after chick to the hotel and just knocking them off.
Wow.
Crazy.
I'm gonna have to check that season out. But yeah, I just think it's crazy because like in the shows, like for that one, I think they both are getting married blind. They don't know the other person. They're learning them, whatever. That's one thing. But when you go into it with like an ultimatum and you're trying to learn about yourself or learn if somebody else could be a better fit for you, like what benefit, like you're setting the relationship up to fail in a situation. Like the ultimatum itself was setting the relationship up to fail. But then when you go on a show like this and you're spending time with somebody else and sleeping in the same bed and you're comparing your original partner to this new partner and their pros and cons, like it's just not gonna work out.
Bro, first of all, let me just say as a man that I wouldn't even be able to go on that show because if you expect me to go in there and not have sex, I'm laying in the bed with a whole nother woman and we laying in here like this. I don't care that there's cameras in here. I mean, that's just a natural human reaction. We do whatever. You up in here. No, who told you that wasn't gonna happen?
And in South Africa, they took advantage of that.
I'm like, yeah, I'm up in the bed. I'm asleep. I done rolled over and I feel some buzz. I'm like, whoa. I'm going in, Captain.
See, but the ones I've seen for like the ones here in America, they've been mostly respectful. They don't kiss a lot. Like there may be a kiss on the cheek here, good night or whatever. But like they are all still, even though they say your old relationship is ended and you're in a new one right now, they don't take advantage of that like they're truly in a new relationship. But the ones in South Africa, I was like, boy, they give zero fucks over here.
Because I'm like, yo. And then if we gonna double down on that, it's another show called Love Island, and it's essentially the same.
That show is wild.
Yeah, that show get wicked real quick. Like,
but there's another one too. There's Love Island, and then there's one that was on USA where you go in as a couple and then you split up, and all the men are on one island, all the women are on another, and they bring in like 10 people of the opposite sex. And so like there's four couples,
mm-hmm.
and for like 2 weeks you don't get to see each other at all. So they're living in a house with 10 other people of the opposite sex, each of them, and they're going on dates and doing all of this stuff. And then at like they're called like the revivals or whatever. Well, I don't know what it's called, but it's where everybody gets together. They'll show like a 7-second clip of your partner on a date with this person or something she said, and you don't know what the context is behind it, but you're like, okay, so she just said that I'm the worst dude in the world. Well, if I'm the worst dude in the world, let me show her what I'm gonna do tonight. And I'll be like, nope, these shows will never work out.
It's a setup because it's creating drama,
toxicity.
Y'all catch that one later. But like I said, man, that's why I'm not on any of these shows because I couldn't be on there. Because if I'm going on there, I'm going crazy.
Future.
I always talk about it. I told my wife that. I said, look, if I was on one of these shows, what you think I'd be doing out here? And she said, oh, you'll be out there mingling, talking, doing whatever. And I was like, so you basically
making them all laugh.
Yeah. But on that note, we gonna wrap it up. Y'all let us know what y'all feel on our sites and comments.
Yeah, let us know what y'all think. Do you think that if you're given an ultimatum that's just the end? Or do you feel like if someone accepts the ultimatum then it can truly last.
Peace.